Ah, the good old days.
That was Peter Jackson's King
Peter
Kong.
Jackson. Amazing.
And
Amazing filmmaker. Yeah.
a brilliant, another, you know, there was both back to back there, Woody Allen and Peter Jackson. You can't go wrong with these filmmakers who turn out stuff. This movie had to be so interesting to you to play this particular character too. He's very complex.
Dali?
No.
Dali? What are you talking about?
Jack.
Jack. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I loved working with Peter, and I had just so much joy working with that amazing cast. It's funny. Midnight in Paris, I worked one afternoon. One afternoon. We did that scene one afternoon. King Kong, I worked 9 months. And I got to live in New Zealand, and I learned so much about a style of filmmaking that I hadn't experienced before, working with cutting edge technology. The technology evolved during that 9-month period that we actually went back and redid scans and things because new equipment had come into use, and it just was so incredible. And Andy Serkis did such a wonderful job in playing Kong, and we interacted with Andy while we were filming, and he brought so much depth and soul to that character, which it's just really wonderful. So it's dear to me, that experience. Yeah.
Do you like doing these big scale movies, both of you? Let me ask both of you, because you have done them. You did Predator. You did Predators, which is a follow up to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, which is really an interesting casting choice, considering you're sort of following Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's like bulky.
Yeah, why wasn't I cast in that film?
That would have been. I am thinking the same thing with you. Yeah, he's great in Predators.
I was an amateur bodybuilder, but a professional magician.
Yeah, you bulked up for Predators, didn't you?
Did.
Right? Yeah. And that was an interesting choice to go into that.
I find, I mean, the whole beauty of being an actor is to get to do things that are different and to portray characters that are vastly different from ones that you have portrayed, and to step into the shoes of others. And sometimes you have to really push past a subjective sense of what you're right to play. And it's very exciting to play things that are very much against type, and and we have to fight to do that. Right. And I think it's more interesting for an audience, especially if they've seen an actor's work, to see them do something very different. And I love the genre. I was cutting school and watching Schwarzenegger in that film in high school, and I loved it, and I would watch it with my friends. And, I never dreamt that I would have an opportunity to portray a character like that. And neither did the studio, for that matter. They offered me the role of a scientist in it. And I advocated for why I feel that I have the sensibilities to represent a mercenary and a character with an intellectual hardness, and bring a level of authenticity to a storytelling rather than just training. And I said, I will train, and I will, and I'm not saying that that's what it was, but to just put someone who's overtly muscular isn't really the answer necessarily. Right. You have to have somebody that is believable as that character and in that role. And I worked to do that and to carry that responsibility, but also to get yoked so that the guys and the fanboys who love that movie don't feel that it's not appropriately cast. And it was really exciting. It was a really fun
And you
journey.
did it great.
You.
That's another one put on your list. And you worked with Ridley Scott on the second and third in the Alien trilogy here, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. So, yeah, really good.
Well, and I did Iron Man 3, which was also a big
And you did Iron Man 3. So you've been doing those big kind of things. So do you enjoy that?
There's a certain aspect of it that I do enjoy. Absolutely, there's a certain sort of structure to the whole entity that you can get lost in a little bit. I think. My preference probably is to work on things that feel more intimate and smaller, and where there isn't so many people that you're just not even getting to know various people's names. It's quite a big machine to work on a big studio picture, but it's still exciting. It's still great fun, and obviously when it comes down to it, and you're standing there, doing your scenes together with the director there and the cinematographer, then there's no difference in a way, but there's just a whole sort of car park full of additional crew who on some level you just never get to know, because this thing's enormous and there's visual effects people and stunt teams that go on forever, and so it is a very different experience, but still enjoyable as long as you believe the role you're playing, and it's working, then great.
And Ridley Scott, he is a wonder to me. I mean, 86 now, 87, and he's off doing his next picture, which you're going to be in, I think.
Apparently so. Yes.
Hey, congrats.
Apparently so. So no, he's a delight, Ridley. I mean, he's so prolific. It's quite amazing, as you point out, for a man of his age. He's really just not slowing down at all. He's really quite sort of historian as well. So getting to talk with him about whatever the project is utterly fascinating. And of course, the to work on Prometheus and Covenant were really exciting, because I was brought up on Alien and that franchise. So yeah.
A director who made his first feature film at age 41. Just shows, isn't that amazing? I mean, and still going like...
He had a vast commercial
he did a lot of commercials and things,
amazing.
But he did not make a movie till The Duelist when he was like 40, 41. So it's pretty remarkable. And
there's hope.
Yeah, exactly.
He's certainly made up for it. He's made about 1,000 movies since then.
I know. He gets so excited by it. I was interviewing him on a Q&A for the Gucci movie, and I said, "What are you doing next?" "Oh, I'm doing Napoleon. He goes, six battles, and he just gets excited. It's contagious to talk to somebody who's still so energized by this business and what they do, and that's the name of the game. And a
lot of crazy sex scenes.
Yeah. Well, you
didn't see the movie, so.
Yeah. My brilliant segues here, back to Guy. The King's Speech, you played King Edward, another real-life person, King Edward VIII. And I told you, I promised, before we get to talking about The Brutalist, that we would be talking about the adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So, even though that was earlier in your career, we're just all over the place tonight. Here is King's Speech and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Yeah.